Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the User of Bricks channel. Today we will be going over the plant. Uh, dup, dup, dup. I am blanking on what all of these are called. Element type. There we are. It says it right there. Element. Yeah. So, again, we are not in the tutorial mod. I have decided that for now, until we do start doing specific things, we aren't going to be doing that, being on it. Just because it's easier for me to show you from stuff I've already done so that you can do it yourself. As this is meant to give ideas and inform you on how to complete those ideas. And before this video gets started, please consider subscribing and leave a like. It greatly helps this channel. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, first off, you want to find the plant type. The hotkey that you can use to create it is Y. You want to enter in the name of your plant key. I won't be doing this because I'll be showing you all of these, because technically they're, 6 different plants, but I use them as the same plant. And I'll show you why. So if we go in here, you can see that there are 2 types of plant. The one I suggest using is the growable plant type and setting the max height to 1. The growable plant type is kind of like the sugarcane plant or the cactus plant. Now there are different types of growable plants, like there's crops, there's desert, plains, which I believe would be tall grass, not exactly sure. There's beech, which I believe is the sugarcane. Cave, no idea. Water, probably some type of thing that grows underwater or on the water, something like that. Nether, again, I have no idea. I have not tested it. You can yourself, but I have honestly no idea. The one I use the most is crop. That way you can create crops like wheat or stuff like that. Now, Mcreator doesn't have a nice way to implement crops, because as you know, crops have different stages in their growth cycle before you can harvest them and get the actual food that they create instead of just getting the seeds. So yeah, the static plant type, I believe that is normally just like flowers or short grass. And yeah, you can use this if that is what you need, but you don't always want that, as the global plant type enables you to do a bunch of other things, like limiting where it can be grown to the crop block or something of that nature. Once you hit next from that menu, it brings you to this one right here, where you name the plant for in the GUI. The creative tab, you can set it to any of them, your custom or non-custom. The hardness, generally it's lower because plants don't really have any hardness at all. Resistance, can I remember? Resistance, I believe that is for explosions. So, yeah. What it makes when you step on the plant, you want plant, but if you for some reason want it to sound like stone, metal, a ladder, an anvil, slime, you of course can. Luminance, this gives you the ability to make the plant give off light. So you can set it to an integer between 0 and 1. And to get a specific light level that you want, from the 0 to 1 thing, it's then translated into a 1 to 15 range. So you can do a little bit of math to figure out what number you want to put in here by taking 1, dividing it by 15, and then multiplying that number by the light level you want the plant to output. You can also make the plant unbreakable. I have no idea why someone would want this or what the implications of it are, but you can. As with blocks, you can also make it have a custom drop. Yeah, this can literally be anything. Yeah, you can the drop amount, frequency on chunks. That really only applies to the static plant type, or I believe the desert or plains type. I'm not sure about the rest. Yeah. Now, after this comes the usual procedures spot, and this is where you can make your plant grow in stages like wheat or carrots or potatoes or beetroots or netherwort, whatever you want. But first you have to create each of the growth stages, as I've done here for my tomato plant. So I have tomato 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And those are my different stages. You can then link them together to grow on either an update tick or I believe there is the random update tick on block right click, on block destroy explosions, start to destroy, when mob/player collides, one block destroyed by player, when neighbor block changes. Nope, you have to do update tick. So never mind on everything else I just said. You could also have it grow by a player having to destroy it, I guess. I don't know why you'd want that, but you could. You honestly very much could. Or when it's destroyed by an explosion, or it's right-clicked. You could do a plethora of things. Now, to make it grow, you obviously have this, and then you create a procedure like this one, which you have a random thing, and if you don't know how to get that, you go to the template library, do a 70% chance, and that comes out here. And then you would put a place, a certain block. You can get that from block actions, place certain block at XYZ. And yeah, and then you choose what block you want it to place next. For it to be the plant stages, you choose the next stage. And you do that same thing all the way up to your last plant. Hold on. Back. Right, for my tomato plant, I did that. You can do a plethora of things at this point. Like, all of the plants, as you can see, drop the seeds up till the last stage I have, which then it drops the actual tomato. And to get seeds as well, you could add a procedure on the when block destroyed by player that just drops a seed as well. And that's how you would add more than just that one item to dropping when the plant is destroyed. Yeah, and to link all of these together through seeds, you obviously have to create your own seed, but you want to create it and give it, it's an unusual item. You can do whatever you want with it, but when a right-clicked on block, you want to add a procedure there, and you want to check if the block that it's clicked on is crop type. Now, you do not want the double equals. You only want the one equal to, because if you do the double equals, it will only plant the seed if it's on dry farmland, not the wet farmland, just the dry farmland. But if you have the single equal sign, it will work and plant on both wet and dry. And from there, you want to place the first stage at the X, Y, Z, but on Y, you want to add 1 to the Y variable. That plants it. That would plant the block one above the farmland. Then after this, so that you don't have an endless amount of tomatoes or whatever plant you're working on, you want to add an if statement, and then you want to do if not is player in creative mode. This checks to see if the player is not in creative mode. If the player is in creative mode, they have endless tomatoes from just one seed. If the player is not in creative mode, it will remove 1 seed from the player's inventory. And that's how you do that. You can also do other types of plants as well. Oh, and I should say, the reason why my tomato plant doesn't have the drop seeds as well is because the tomato has a recipe where 1 tomato equals 2 seeds. So you can do different ways of getting the tomato seeds and whatnot. And also for the seeds, you will want the can be dropped as grass seed checked, and you want to put how rare it is as a number right there. And yeah, and that makes people able to get your plant in vanilla Minecraft. Now let's say that you don't want to do a crop type, but you want to do a reed type. Now in this mod right here. This is the Traveler's Adventure. Some of you may know about it. It is a mod of the week. But that aside, let's look at some of my one of my reads, the coal reads. To create a read, you want to again use the growable plant type. If you want a read to act the same way as a normal read would, select beach, and that creates where the reeds only will grow next to water. Yeah. If you want your reed to grow on something else, like soul sand, do the nether type. If you want desert and you want it to grow on sand anywhere, you can click desert. An example in the normal Minecraft would be the cactus. Plains, I believe that would just be on grass or dirt anywhere. There doesn't need to be water. But if you want to have water to have to be there, click beach. Cave, I'm not exactly sure what it does, nor water, but you could test those out and figure it out on your own. Next, you want to do the max height. This is a little more simple. Well, not a little more simple, a lot more simple than the crop plant type, as this is all you need. And yeah, you can have it drop itself or an item to be like the face that you click on a block, and you can have parameters kind of like the seed from the other thing. You'd have to, it's a little more complicated, but otherwise just make it drop itself and then add a texture pack on that changes the look of your reeds when it's in your hand to the normal reed texture or a custom reed texture, whichever you want. Of course, there's drop amount, frequency on chunks, luminance, resistance, hardness, creative tab, its name. You could add procedures, but for reads, you don't really need to, but you can. So, yeah, that is plants in a nutshell. Yeah, I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please like and subscribe to be notified when the next video comes out. And just like the last video, if you have any suggestions for where this series should go, make a suggestion in the comments. Please. I want to have this series going for a while. And I want to know what you want to know. This has been User Bricks.